Premonition is a powerful force, a gut feeling that something ominous is on the horizon. It's a sensation that can't be ignored, a warning from the universe that tragedy is looming. Some of history's most influential figures, like Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Abraham Lincoln, all had a sense of impending doom before their untimely deaths. I recently stumbled upon a book called The Laws of the Spirit World by Khorshid Bhavnagri, a haunting account of her conversation with her deceased son. The book delves into the afterlife and the tragic loss of her twin sons in a car accident. The eerie premonition her son had before the crash, a final farewell to his mother, sends chills down my spine. It's a reminder that premonitions are real, and sometimes they can't be ignored. Mahatma Gandhi's final moments were filled with a sense of foreboding and resignation. He seemed to have a premonition of his impending death, with cryptic statements and actions that hinted at his fate. From expressing disappointment at being told to retreat to the Himalayas, to warning his grandniece about a death warrant, to refusing flowers from Rajiv Gandhi, he seemed to be preparing himself for the end. On the day of his assassination, he woke up early, troubled by the state of the country and his own mortality. His words about dying of a disease or a pimple, versus being shot on his bare chest, were chillingly prophetic. Even his decision to delay meeting two leaders on the day until after the prayer meeting, "If I am alive," hinted at his awareness of the danger, and so, his last walk to the prayer meeting became his final journey, as he met his fate with Lord Rama's name on his lips. Whether he truly predicted his own assassination or not, the events leading up to that fateful day suggest that perhaps he had a sense of what was to come. In the days leading up to her assassination, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi seemed to have a sense of foreboding. After ordering the controversial Operation Blue Star, which resulted in the deaths of many Sikh militants, she knew she had made enemies. On October 30th, she delivered a speech that eerily foreshadowed her own demise, speaking of her pride in serving her people and acknowledging the uncertainty of her future. The following day, as she made her way to a television interview, tragedy struck. Two of her Sikh bodyguards, seeking revenge for the events of Operation Blue Star, turned their weapons on her. In a cruel twist of fate, the woman who had once been hailed as a strong leader and champion of her people fell victim to the very violence she had unleashed. Indira Gandhi's assassination served as a stark reminder of the dangers and consequences that come with holding power and making difficult decisions as a leader. On the night of April 3, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. stood before a crowd in the Mason Temple in Memphis. His voice filled with conviction as he spoke of having been to the mountaintop and seen the promised land of equality. But there was a heaviness in his words, a sense of foreboding that hung in the air. He told the crowd that he may not get there with them, that his fate was uncertain. Yet, despite the threats to his life that he faced daily, he remained resolute, leaning on his faith for strength. The following evening, as he stood on the balcony of his hotel, a shot rang out, cutting his life short. In his final moments, Martin Luther King Jr. seemed to know that his time had come, but his legacy of hope and perseverance lived on, inspiring generations to come. Abraham Lincoln, the former US president, found himself in a nightmare unlike any other on the night of the 4th of April 1865. As he slept, he dreamt of mourners weeping and a lifeless body lying in the East Room of the White House. A soldier stood guard over the corpse, and when Lincoln inquired about its identity, the chilling response came, "The president. He was killed by an assassin." The shock of those words jolted Lincoln awake, his heart racing and his mind reeling. He confided in a friend about the dream, admitting that he felt strangely disturbed by it. Little did he know that his subconscious mind had foretold a grim reality. Just 10 days later, on the 14th of April, Lincoln was indeed assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. The premonition of his own death haunted him, leaving him with a sense of unease that he couldn't shake. The nightmare had become a grim prophecy fulfilled.